Since I have some awesome guys on TikTok right now listening, I'm thinking, may I have your opinion, please? What is it with men these days?
She literally admitted on camera that she brings zero effort to the table, but still expects a top-tier man to drop from the sky. Welcome back to the 1 Hour Network. Hit that subscribe button right now because today, we are breaking down why modern dating in major cities has completely collapsed under the weight of delusion. Let's look at the data.
I don't know if it's just BC or I haven't dated in a while, but dating in BC right now, especially in the Vancouver area, is probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. Just gets to a point where you just want to stop putting in energy, you know? And I have stopped putting energy. I have stopped trying, you know? And now I'm sitting back and waiting for things to come to me. They are coming, but they're just not good enough, you know what I'm saying? Like the person off the bat always seems real nice, and then, you know, you kind of get in there a little bit. You kind of learn a little bit about them, and then you realize that they're not exactly who they turn out to be on the surface. Now, take that, you know, how you want to, but it's hard out here, man.
Okay, I have a bone to pick today, and literally it's going to be the fact that Vancouver's dating scene sucks. So growing up here means that you know everybody. Everyone has mutuals with each other. It's like if you go to school here, if you go to university here, you work here, then you're gonna meet people that have mutuals with other people in your life, and it's just an ongoing thing. Like, I'm not even single right now, but seeing my single friends, like, going on dates and stuff is so atrocious to see, because every single person is like a mutual's friend, or just so many overlapping friend groups and things like that. Like, back when I was single, I would like go to house parties and run into several people that I've dated, had situationships with, or like was in a full-on relationship with at the same party, because somehow I didn't realize that they were friends with their friend that's also friends with their other friend, and it's like this whole chaotic like thing. But I think also as a girl, like, there's some level of comfort with knowing that you have a mutual with someone that you're seeing, because you know that they're not a psychopath and they're not going to kill you on the date. But at the same time, it's like you want to venture out beyond the people that you already know. Like, I don't want to date someone and then meet their friend group and realize that one of the people in that friend group is someone that I dated, or like ghosted, or they ghosted me. I don't know. And that to me is just something I never want to think about. And thank God I'm not single right now, because seeing the struggles that my friends go through in Vancouver dating is not something I wish upon anyone. And I just can't.
Since I have some awesome guys on TikTok right now listening, I'm thinking, may I have your opinion, please? What is it with men these days and not wanting to date? Do you guys have a fear of commitment? Is it the woman these days? Does it have anything to do with spending money on women? Does it have anything to do with trust issues? Maybe dating apps? Maybe you feel like there are endless options in terms of significant others? Please let me know in the comments.
The only thing more awkward and uncomfortable than leaving a bad date is witnessing it happen to other people. You can always tell so easily that was a first date. Either one or both people were not into that. There's always a very awkward half hug, just uncomfortable pleasantries. And oh my God, what's even worse is when you can tell that both people don't feel the same way. One person's walking away with a smile and the other person looks like they've never been more horrified in their life.
Every woman in Toronto is like, I cannot manage to date here. And then you find like one woman who actually has like a nice boyfriend and a successful relationship, and then we're all foaming at the mouth like, how did you find him? And then she says something dumb like run club, and you're just like, queen, running. In this economy, I'm spending all my cardio running for my credit card bill. Okay, I don't have time for that. Or she says something even more stupid like a dating app, and you're just like, oh really, a dating app? I haven't tried that for the last 5 years. Why didn't I think of that? I was at a friend's bridal shower this past weekend, and the mom of the groom was trying to set me up with one of the groom's friends, and I was like, no, I already dated one of the groom's friends once and he cheated on me, so that's no more of those, please, thank you. It's sad to me because I feel like as the only single woman in that situation, like everyone's looking at me like, oh my God, that poor thing, like I need to set her up with someone. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm actually so fine. Okay, first of all, you have no idea what's happening in my romantic life right now. Don't assume anything, all right? Second of all, I've done a lot of cool shit in my life that have nothing to do with romance, and everyone's just like, no, she needs a man. And I do. So anyways, this is my formal inquiry. Thank you so much.
We've been on 5 dates. We just like pecked. Honestly, that I had high hopes for this night, and he fucking came short, I will say. We went to Ruby Soho after. No, Liberty Soho, whatever, same shit. He did not pay my... I had one drink. He let me pay. There was 5 of them, one at me, and I paid. No, that's not okay. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get an Uber. He let me just like walk out and wait for the Uber. And then they came out when the Uber came. It was so awkward. No, I came out. He's like so hot.
Get ready with me while I tell you my rules for dating in Toronto. For context, I spent the last year and a half on the dating apps, meeting people, dating casually, dating seriously, and even though I'm on a little bit of a single journey now, this is my best advice that I've compiled for you. Number one is to treat your first dates like a vibe check. You really can't tell if you're gonna like someone enough to date them from one date. You can, however, tell if you don't. Cut your expectations, you're just meeting them, it's not that serious. It doesn't matter who pays the bill, as long as you're both on the same page about it. Feeling liked is more important than the idea of being liked. You'll know when someone likes you, and if you don't...
If you're not a girl, keep scrolling. And this is mainly for my Toronto girlies or anyone who's living in the GTA. The dating scene in Toronto is absolutely horrific. My girlfriends are single. I recently started dating somebody, and I'm gonna tell you the whole story here and the whole point of this whole TikTok because I'm trying to help you ladies and not gatekeep. But I've gone through my fair share of dating. Okay. So the trick is find yourself an American boy. These American boys go to college so early on. They're in college, they're paying their tuition, they don't live with their mommies and daddies, they travel all across the states and they take care of themselves. So by the time they're like 28, 29, 30, they're so ready to settle down because they've lived their life in their 20s. And I've noticed that guys here in Toronto live with their mommy and daddy up until they're like mid-20s, late 20s, and then they go out and venture off and they think that they're like frat boys in their 30s and don't know how to settle down and commit. I do want to say to the guys who are watching this that are good guys, there are so many good guys out there as well who are also looking for good girls. So I'm not trying to like throw shade on guys in general. I'm throwing shade on the majority of guys in our city.
Look, dating in Toronto is tough. It's a hard knock life being single out here right now. Your friends are talking about it. I'm talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. But what's the issue? Like, why is it so difficult right now? 3 reasons. The city's individualistic culture, people's lack of accountability in 2023, and before you get mad, I know you're gonna get mad anyways, but really, a lot of you are lacking accountability for your actions these days. And perspective. People only want to look at things through their own lens. Let's start from the top. Individualism. Toronto is, and North America is, one of the most individualistic societies in the world. And why is this a problem? Because we have this monkey see, monkey do culture here. Where like, if Jimmy goes out and cheats, then Billy thinks, oh, well, if Jimmy's cheating, I'm gonna go out and cheat. Who cares? Jimmy cheats all the time. It's not a big deal. Yo, Jimmy's an asshole if Jimmy's going out there and cheating all the time. That doesn't mean you should do it. You should recognize that Jimmy's probably not a good person. In fact, you should probably take a step back and say, do I really want to continue on with these actions and cause this whole cheating problem to get worse? Or could I be a catalyst of good change and say, yo, Jimmy, it's kind of shitty what you're doing, bro. I'm not going to do the same thing. In fact, I don't encourage what you're doing. We could, but we just see what other people are doing and go, I'm going to do that too. Who cares? It's all about me. I'm going to do what I want all the time. Individualism. Problem when it comes to dating. Second of all, accountability. Look, a lot of people lack the accountability for their actions. You might be an absolute disastrous mess of a human being who is ruining other people's lives, and you're unable to take a step back and say, ooh, like maybe sometimes I am the problem. Maybe there's some things I need to work on. It's always, no, it's the other person's fault. The other person did it. It's all their fault. It could never be me. I'm perfect. I'm the best. No, we could all be better. We could all work on ourselves a little bit more every day, but we all see it. Those people who just have no accountability for their actions and just walk around like a tornado shitstorm and inflict the lack of accountability on other people in the process. Accountability, important thing to learn. You'll grow if you learn to be accountable, but if you don't, you'll just continue to stay in the same place and cause this disastrous tornado of mess that you're living in. And lastly, the most important one is perspective. There are so many people walking around who lack the ability to see anything else outside their own perspective or lens. And social media and the online era has only made this worse. Why? Because you go online and you only see things that affirm your perspective, or you see something that doesn't affirm your perspective and you go in the comments and you see people bashing it. You're like, haha, this is wrong. No, nobody's perspective is wrong. That's something you need to learn. That the way that they're viewing their perspective is different than yours. You're allowed to have different perspectives. So stop telling people that their perspective is wrong. And in turn, take a step back and look at both sides and say, maybe we're both part of the problem, because that is the problem in this city right now, is that it's not the men's fault. It's not the women's fault. It's both of our fault, and our inability to communicate together. And ultimately the fact that we always end up just bickering about, well, the men are the worst. Oh, the women are the worst. We're both kind of the problem right now. And until we take a step back and make amends to this, it's just going to continue with this cycle. And hey, this probably isn't going to fix it, but I'm going to keep trying. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. Dating in Vancouver is horrible. Let's talk about it, baby. Now, that last post about my fun facts of Vancouver has gone viral, and I said, should I talk about dating? And like 800 people liked it and said I should. So let's rip in. First off, let's talk about the flakiness. What is that about? It ain't good. Cause where are you? Cause you ain't here. First pet peeve is people are so flaky here with dating. Like, come on, let's just make some plans and see it through, would you? Oh, this might not be a Vancouver thing, but I mean, it might be a worldwide thing. But if you're a woman from somewhere else or a man from somewhere else, comment, let me know. Let's get talking in the comments, okay? Anyway, let's continue. Not so much just the flakiness, it's the unenthusiastic. People here just don't seem enthusiastic to want to do something. It's hard to get across the line, to hang out, honestly. Don't get me started about online dating. It is the worst. I hate small talk. I just can't stand it. We need to put more effort in if we're going to small talk. Because it's funny, because women here will always say, well, women in general will say, you know, the men need to put more effort in, or come out and say something spicy or entertain me. Yet, every woman that ever speaks to me online hits me with a, hi, hey, hello, hey. What is that? Give me something more, baby. I also don't drink, so it makes it, like, I'm not out partying, so that's another thing. Like, I don't know, people get weird about that. But also, I'm on Bumble, had probably like 3 matches in 3 months, just unenthusiastic. I also know someone, she had like, got on Hinge, had 2,000 people follow within 3 days. That's too many options. That's another problem that we got going on. Anyways, I'll circle back to that. We'll come back to that. Let me keep yapping about the other thing. I had a woman online say, I think her prompt was on Raya as well. Don't be getting started about that. They're beautiful people, but still don't say anything. I almost think that's just an ego stroke for them. You match with someone, say nothing, but they feel good that they matched. But her prompt, or her little thing, was, I love good banter, and I want to be pursued. So I opened with, ooh, spicy. What? I think I did that. Or it was like, what do you like to do for fun, and what's a normal Sunday look like for you or something? You know what she said? To rip into the banter? Relax. Period. You're gone. Next. Another one said, oh, I love jokes. I got all the jokes. I'm so funny or something like that. I said, hey, what's your best joke? I don't have any. And you're gone. Get out of here. I think with online social media and all that in this day and age, there's just too many options for everybody. Like you meet someone, back in the day, you'd meet someone, it cost, back in the day, if you were texting someone, it was $20 to top up, and it cost 20 cents a text. You'd meet up, vibe, see if you like each other, get to know each other, have a good time, and then you would probably be focused on one person. Now, with this day and age, you've got Instagram, you've got people at the tips of your fingers everywhere. If someone good looking, you could be talking to someone you really get along with, but all of a sudden someone comes out of the woodwork and oh my God, what? And you're talking to someone else online, everywhere. It's crazy. I feel like everyone's burnt out. Probably another thing. It costs an arm and a leg here, okay? We're all just trying to survive. Also, it's raining, just so you know. But I feel like a lot of people here are probably just focused on themselves doing their own thing. Like I'm not actively dating, it's just exhausting. I think I've had 2 dates in the last 7 months. Not good. But I am interested to hear what everyone else is dealing with around the world, or if is this a me thing? This could be another people thing. Other guys dealing with this, other women dealing with this. Let me know, baby. But one thing I do not understand, and tell me if you with me on this. If you have a partner or you're with someone and you don't post them at all on your socials, what the is that? Are you bonkers? I know people who are in a full-blown relationship and she posts on Instagram, you would assume she's single. Not one picture of the dude. What is with that? That has to be a major red flag. Like you got a full-blown missus, nowhere to be seen. Okay? That's crazy talk. Post your dude. Put in the comments, I want to know, am I alone in feeling like I feel? Or are we in this together, baby? I'll see you there.
Okay, this is why you should always listen to TikTok. There are so many TikToks out there about how dating apps in Toronto are fucked up. And one of my girlfriends was like, why don't you just download Tinder? Why don't you just try it? So I was like, okay, whatever, I will. I'll do it. So I set up my little profile. I put one photo and my bio was like, hi, I just got Tinder. I've never had a dating app before, okay? The first person that comes up for me to like choose on is my ex-boyfriend. I didn't even know which way was like yes or no. So if you're watching this, the answer was no, like I want to get back together. After he went away, the next person that came up asked me who the next person was. It was the concierge of my building. Anyways, I had Tinder for a total of like 14 minutes and it was the worst experience of my life. The app is now deleted. Okay, bye. It needs to be said, so I am going to take the stand. If you ask a girl for her number when you're out, she gives it to you, you text her once and she does not answer, doesn't mean text her 3, 4, 5 more times, don't call her, maybe just take the hint, like she's not interested. This isn't really something specifically we were taught in school, but it's a bit common sense. I just cannot even imagine asking a guy for his number, texting him not answering, and then blowing up his phone. I can't even imagine going on a date with someone and then like texting him being like, oh, had a great time, and he didn't answer. I would never text him again. What happened to pride? Because if I don't give you my number, I'm gonna see you next Tuesday. And in my head, I'm like, in what world do you think that would work, that would benefit you, that I would be like, oh, him? Oh, and you want to make the argument, just give them a fake number. Like, there are fucking freaks out there who will be like, I'm gonna text you my name right now, like, let me see if you get it. Now, the argument could be made. Tell them you're not interested. First of all, I owe you nothing. Use your common sense, use your brain, and realize I may be not interested, I'm not answering your texts. I have explicitly texted this one guy. I am not interested in something serious, in something casual. This is very overwhelming to me. You have texted me, you're calling me. Proceeds to call me again. Like, can I help you? Maybe I wasn't clear the first time. I repeat myself, and then I get a text like asking to go out with me. I don't know if they've created some competition in their own head where they're like, okay, she doesn't want me, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make her want me, but it doesn't work. I'm gonna tell you that it's not working. Maybe this is a new series. Maybe I start becoming a dating coach to men who have no common sense. I start telling you the things that maybe aren't so normal. I know it's not every guy because I will send my guy friends the texts or like explain it to them and I'm like, would you ever do this? And they're like, no. It's the guy that's never had a girlfriend, and I think this is kind of mean, but it's like, okay, let's do some reflection. Can't get a girl. Yeah, harassment doesn't necessarily work well in that department. So today's lesson, if she cannot even answer your text, she is probably not that into you. Have an awesome day, everyone. Let me know what topics you'd like me to cover next.
This is how Toronto dating normally goes. You match on, let's say, Hinge. You talk for a day, text. Then they ask you out. Yorkville, if you're lucky. If you're a lucky one. Dinner. And then, after they finish giving you so many drinks, one of two ways. Either you're coming home with me tonight, or I will probably never see you again. And this was an interesting little experiment. Yorkville, why I say if you're lucky? Because I've had guys invite me to a picnic. Okay, now, I'm not one of those girls that needs a free meal. I'll be honest. I don't care for it. A picnic? Not my cup of tea, but if the guy is great, why not? Right? Who am I to say it needs to be a dinner or it needs to be at a fancy restaurant? I don't need that. But if it is a picnic and you're like being all weird about it with like blanket and like cuddles on a first date, okay, that's where I draw the line. Those kind of guys, we're going to the restaurant, to one that has a lot of people. And we're not sitting next to each other, we're sitting across from each other. Please and thank you. I'm not cuddling, at least not on a first date.
Hear me out. I've figured out why dating is so trash in Toronto, okay? Hear me out, all right? Everybody's cute. There's too many cute people, okay? Girls, guys, the gays, everyone's hot, okay? But everyone's too chaotic. Too chaotic. They can't settle down. They can't pick what they're into, who they're into. They want it all. They go out every fucking day when it's sunny. If the sun's out, they're out, okay? They're everywhere, okay? They are chaotic and they don't want to settle down. And that all stems back to, we are all too attractive.
Someone please tell me where all the good men are hiding. I went on a first date last night and I was just asking all of the basic questions like, are your parents still together? Do you have any siblings? That kind of stuff. So I asked if he had any questions for me. This man had the audacity to ask me if I had a high sex drive. That's it. I'm done. This is why I don't date men from Toronto.
2,000 matches and still single tells you everything you need to know about the modern marketplace. If you want to see exactly how this infinite choice paradox destroys a man's focus, click on this next video right here where we break down the high value illusion. See you there.